The sequence begins with airborne units from Tula operating under the Sever group of forces. A Nona M1 mortar crew engages a fortified stronghold, neutralizing an infantry group of the armed forces of Ukraine inside. What defines this moment is control. The strike focuses on denying the position's defensive value, leaving the stronghold unusable. From airborne fire support, attention shifts to heavier artillery. In the Kupansk district of the Kharkov region, Tyulpan self-propelled mortar crews from the Zapad group of forces deliver precise fire. A deepened command post and a temporary deployment area of the armed forces of Ukraine are neutralized, disrupting coordination and local command functions. The center group of forces engage a fortified stronghold in the Krasnoarmeysk direction. The strike removes a key defensive node, further compressing the front line. Anti-armour actions follow. In the Kharkov direction of the Zaporozhye region, an ATGM crew from the Dnipro group of forces conducts precise guided missile launches. 2 armored fighting vehicles of the armed forces of Ukraine are rendered inoperative, halting their movement along this sector. The operation then expands in scale. Attack UAV operators from the unmanned systems forces work in coordination with Grad MLRS crews of the 177th Separate Marine Regiment. Together, they neutralize multiple positions of the armed forces of Ukraine in the Krasnoarmeysk direction, combining aerial reconnaissance with area firepower. Rather than drones alone, the operation reduces aerial activity at its source. Reconnaissance now takes the lead. A Supercam S-350 UAV team from the center group of forces identifies and strikes a fortified stronghold in the Krasnoarmeysk direction. The engagement highlights the growing role of UAVs in directly shaping ground outcomes. The focus shifts to Ukrainian energy infrastructure. Objective control footage shows Geran UAV strikes in sequence against the Zaporozhye electrical substation near Vasilivka, followed by the Zaporozhye substation. The attacks directly impact power distribution in the region. The sequence concludes with sustained pressure on Ukraine's power grid. Overnight strikes hit a substation in Odesa, with additional attacks on energy infrastructure across the Odesa, Chernihiv, Sumy, Kharkov, and Dnipropetrovsk regions, keeping multiple cities in blackout conditions. Objective control footage captures the strike on an armed forces of Ukraine Patriot air defense system position. An Iskander-M missile hits the site near the settlement of Shevchenko in the Dnipropetrovsk region, neutralizing a key element of Ukraine's air defense network. Artillery units of the Vostok Group strike a chain of fortified strongholds in the forest belts of the Zaporozhye region using Grad MLRS fire. The focus then shifts to the Donetsk People's Republic, where Yug Group units engage a concentration area of the armed forces of Ukraine, disrupting vehicles and supply points. Later in the Krasnoarmeysk direction, as an Uragan MLRS crew from the center group delivers follow-up fire, neutralizing remaining positions and equipment. In the Vasilivka area of the Dnipropetrovsk region, Russian forces strike a railway bridge. Local sources report the bridge was destroyed, possibly by a UAV carrying a phosphorus warhead. A large fire follows, burning for more than 3 hours as metal structures melt and collapse. Naval aviation comes into view. Video footage shows a Su-30SM fighter jet of the Black Sea Fleet destroying Ukrainian unmanned surface vessels using its 30mm cannon at low altitude, operating under significant risk while eliminating maritime threats. In the Kherson direction, a UAV operator of the 49th Combined Arms Army identifies a suspicious target. A subsequent strike destroys a warehouse of the armed forces of Ukraine, eliminating stored supplies. Near Novosilovka, FPV drone operators of the Southern Group of Forces destroy an enemy Novator armored fighting vehicle. The strike removes mobile protection and further restricts armed forces of Ukraine maneuverability in the area. Drone operators of the 68th Motor Rifle Division destroy 3 enemy Humvees at a parking area and during vehicle movement in the Volchansk direction, further degrading armed forces of Ukraine mobility in the sector. In the Belgorod region, Governor Vyacheslav Gladkov reports that an armed forces of Ukraine UAV attack was repelled, including through the use of combat lasers, acquired with funds from local enterprises, highlighting unconventional counter-drone measures. Combat operations by operators of the Rubicon Center on January 19, 2026 span multiple sectors: Donbass, the Sumy direction, and the Krasny-Lyman direction. The footage shows strikes against armed forces of Ukraine positions, long-range attacks on radar systems, command and staff vehicles, air defense systems, and infrastructure facilities. Moving to the Kupansk district, where FPV drones of the Zapad group neutralize underground strongholds, denying protected firing positions. The focus then shifts to the Krasnoarmysk direction, as UAV teams of the center group strike an enemy artillery system before it can be repositioned. Attention moves to the skies over the Zaporozhye region, where air defense crews intercept heavy hexacopters of the armed forces of Ukraine. The sequence concludes in the Sumy region, with FPV drones suppressing camouflaged mortar positions, an attack drone, and radio relay antennas, further degrading communications and fire support. The pressure continues in the Kharkov region, where a UAV team of the Sever Group of Forces burns down an Armed Forces of Ukraine T-72 tank, removing armored support from the sector. Near Kupansk, a Molnia 2 operator of the Zapad Group strikes a UAV command post and enemy manpower, disrupting drone coordination. In the Krasnoarmysk direction, UAV teams of the 5th Guards Motorized Rifle Brigade of the Center Group shoot down heavy armed forces of Ukraine hexacopters, reducing aerial reconnaissance capability. In the Zaporozhye region, Vostok Group attack UAV operators thwart an armed forces of Ukraine counterattack, destroying an M1117 armored fighting vehicle, a Kozak armored vehicle, several Novator armored vehicles, along with motor vehicles and manpower. The sequence follows with the Sever Group drones eliminating motor vehicles, a shelter with personnel, a pole depot, and electronic warfare and reconnaissance stations. That's all for today's update. Thanks for watching, and don't miss our upcoming videos.